Hey guys, Jess with Peekaboo Wreath. So I tried giving us a little bit of a higher angle today as we put in our embellishments. I know that it's good to have a close-up angle when we do bows and things like that, but when we add our embellishments in for our last step, sometimes it's helpful to have a little bit of a further away view. So we're gonna try that. I know that I did twist down this pipe cleaner. I am going to put in some ribbon in this one because for the top, instead of having 5 spaces, I only want to have 4 because our bow is huge, and I also only have 4 big pine cones to put on the top. So sometimes it goes that way. I had a big pine bush, and one of the pine cones I didn't check at the store, or maybe it's in one of the bags, I don't know. But either way, I don't have it, so I didn't have as many pine cones as I anticipated. I anticipated having 5 for the top. I did not. So anyways, we got 4. So instead of putting our bow right here on this one, we're gonna put it in between 2. So we're gonna place it right here. We're gonna put our bow, we normally put it through on the top with the tails coming down, but on this one, we are going to be putting it on the bottom, and then we're gonna put our embellishments on the spots leading up. So a little bit of a different look, but still gorgeous. So I'm just moving my ribbons over to the side so that we can see them. Putting our bow right here in the middle, and we're gonna pull it in tight enough where it's not gonna go anywhere, but not so tight that you suck it into, like, so far into the wreath that, you know, you can't see what's going on. So we want it just laying right on top, not like squished in, if that makes sense. Okay, so we have our bow here, we have our tails. Our tails are gonna be trailing off of the wreath, which is gonna be a pretty look. I kind of forgot that I did this last year, and I really liked the way that it looked last year, so we're gonna try to recreate that this year. I do have a little tiny bell for the middle there. I made a little bit of a design change. I was gonna put these teeny tiny bells like all the way around. Like, I have these yarn balls, and I was gonna put these in every other one, and then these teeny bells in every other one. But then I realized, like, you're probably not gonna be able to see these from the top because they're so small. So instead, I'm gonna be adding in these silver bells in every other one. They're like a distressed rustic bell. It came on a garland, actually. And I'm gonna be putting these in every other one on the outside, and then I'm gonna be putting these yarn balls on every other one on the outside, like this. So that is the plan, like that. Okay, apologize if you keep seeing my hair come into the view. I'm gonna go put a little bit of glue on this little bell here. I have had my glue pot plugged in. Just a word to the wise. If you get all excited, here, this is what the glue pot looks like. It's from Surebonder. If you get all excited that you got a batch of hot glue in, and you fill up your hot glue pot so that it is going to be nice and full of glue, it takes longer to heat up. There's a little word to the wise. It takes longer to heat up when there's more glue in there. Obviously that makes sense, but just a little reminder, it does take more time to heat up more glue than less glue. All right, so we got that in there. All right, so these are our embellishments. We're gonna be putting these ones. We have these little sprigs with no berries on them. They just have 3 sprigs. Then we have this one that has these 2 little berries on it. See these little, they're like little, like new growth, I guess. And then we have these pine cones. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is gonna go on this whole box or container here is gonna go on the top. We have, I cut apart a large bush of greenery, and this is what is left. So we know that we have 12 ties on the bottom, so we're gonna have 12 spots to fill. And then whatever was left is kind of what I'm putting on the top. We have these pretty pine cones on a stick. So I'm just kind of doing every other one here and filling out our top layer. Because it is interesting. You feel like you know, the top layer is what people see first, but then you also want to have good details popping through that side too. So I always say my wreaths have really good profile views. I'm always like, if it looks this good from the side, can you imagine how good it looks from the front? You know, but so we're just placing these on here, trying to cover up that pipe cleaner. You guys will have to let me know in the comments below if you like this view better. So I'm just, for these ones that don't have pine, I am slipping it behind the ribbon and then kind of holding it so that it covers up that pipe cleaner. So we got that. Okay. So now I am going to be adding in these ones. We have, let's see, we have 2 that have the berries on them. And then we have a few that don't. So these ones I'm going to put behind the pine cones that don't have the greenery attached to get that greenery look going. And I'm kind of making sure that I'm pushing it back because if you don't, it'll look kind of like the greenery is coming like forward, like sticking out forward on the wreath, which is not really the look we're going for. We want it to be like kind of flat, you know, and held back here. So yeah, you guys will have to let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this view. I have lots of like individual sprigs like this. So I think we're going to be putting in our big ones here and then kind of decide what we're going to do with all the extra ones. We definitely want to use them, but we also want to make sure that I don't think you can really overdo it. I mean, I've been trying to be a little bit price conscious of my materials. I had a little bit of a rude awakening a couple weeks ago when I realized that I was like undercharging. I was kind of just assuming how much things and materials cost. Like I knew that the prices went up. I'm gonna put this right here behind these ribbons. Like I knew that the prices on everything has gone up, right? Like I go grocery shopping. I bought wreath supplies this year, all the things, right? So I'm aware that things are more expensive, but I wasn't aware of how much it'd gone up. So then when I actually took the time, and I'm just gonna set these aside for a minute, and did the math, I was a little bit shocked and disappointed in myself that I didn't take the time to realize that I was adding more materials as I've gotten a little bit better at making wreaths. I was adding more materials, you know, as I feel comfortable and I use them and, you know, I feel, you know, like I can put out a good product with the materials, you know, like I know that wreaths look better with the greenery, right? It's not a secret, right? You can look at it and you can say, oh yeah, you know, everybody has their own taste, but a wreath with greenery looks better for Christmas. So I've been adding those in, but I didn't really think about how much it was costing and how I should be raising my prices on my wreaths and how that might affect my target audience, right? So I don't know. What I'm trying to say is I just need to make a little bit of changes. The holiday shipping price increase has definitely gone into effect. I knew it was going to. Today was my first experience with that this year and really how much it's going to go up. I know that I live in Michigan here and, you know, we are kind of you know, like a little bit far away from certain regions, you know, like California and Texas and, you know, Florida and stuff, right? We're like further away because we're up north. but I didn't realize it was going to cost $31 to ship a wreath to Washington. That's where I'm going with this. I've been trying really hard in my Etsy shop to not charge for shipping. Like when I first started my Etsy shop 6 years ago, I didn't understand like the ins and outs of shipping and how much things cost and how much boxes cost and things like that. Well, then at the time, Etsy was doing something, which I don't know if they're still doing this or not, but they were doing this program where if your shop offered free shipping, then they would show your wreaths more to customers. So I increased the prices of my items, but then, you know, wrote on there free shipping, right? So technically it was free shipping, but, you know, the customer was paying for that. Well, I was only charging like $15 for that. And I mean, the box alone is like $5. And then, so that leaves like $10 towards the shipping cost. Well, I have not ever shipped a wreath for $10, ever. It's never cost that little amount. Once in a while when I ship my plain burlap wreaths that are in 20 by 20 by 4 boxes, USPS, once in a blue moon, as they say, it'll cost like $20 to ship a wreath, but that's about the cheapest it ever is. So anyways, when I got that, I got an Etsy sale, which I'm very thankful for, but it was, I think it was like $120, like out the door. Well, 20 of that came off as fees, like $10 is what the customer paid in taxes, and then $10 of that was Etsy fees. Okay, so that's already what, like $90. So then, yeah, because it wasn't $120. It was like they got a 10% off or something. So that's at $90. And then it cost $31 to ship that wreath. So then I'm at $60. Well, that wreath cost $45 to make. So then I'm at $15. Right? So I'm kind of like, all right. As much as I try not to charge a lot or charge for shipping, like, because I feel like Etsy doesn't give like even if you put in there like how much, like what size the box is and everything, I feel like Etsy doesn't do a very good job at accurately depicting to the customer or charging the customer for the correct shipping costs. I feel like they charge too much. So as much as I am afraid it's gonna hurt my sales, I did have to tack on like $10, like a flat rate $10 shipping fee to help out with that cost of covering those shipments. And we'll see how it goes. So real talk. Real talk here, guys. Real talk. Real talk. So there we go. You'll have to let me know. Sorry to give so much real life information there, but that's that. So it's just kind of like a reminder that like we all love a deal. We all, you know, no matter if we're buying from a store or buying from a person, we all love a deal. But at the same time, we have to remember that, like, even though a wreath looks like it costs $120, that's not really how much goes into the wreath maker's profit. You know, because I'm trying my hardest to not charge a lot for my wreaths. You know, I know that things are expensive and times are challenging and groceries cost a lot, but I don't know. Just throwing it out there, guys. We live and we learn. But all right, so I am just lifting these up. I always put my greenery underneath my wreaths, my bows as well. And then I have one of these for each spot as well. These are just like extra sprigs that came off of that stem. I'm just gonna stick them in there. It just gives a little bit of variety. Just trying hard not to get that on the ribbon. Just dipping them in my glue pot. You guys will have to let me know in the comments below if you guys use a glue pot. Hopefully this further away angle is good for you guys to be able to see. Oh, I don't remember if I put one in there or not. We'll see. So yes, I do. I love this this greenery bush. I stocked up on a lot of them at the end of the season last year. They were from Hobby Lobby. That bush itself cost like, I think it was like $16.99, but a lot of times Hobby Lobby stuff is half off. So, and you get a lot. You get all this greenery in there, so that's a lot. And I'm just making sure that we're getting good contact on that. So we're going all the way around, just setting it in there. Let me turn this a little bit. Ooh, don't you guys just love that sound? I love that sound of those bells. These big silver bells they give a nice tone. Okay, I think we're right here. Okay. We just have a few more. I'm just being careful that I don't get any glue on the ribbons. We don't want that. You guys will have to let me know what you guys think about this one. I've been releasing most of my videos here on YouTube in the reel form as well. A little bit of a faster pace. And you guys will have to let me know what you guys think about that. Just lifting up that bow. Yeah. Just setting it in, lifting that up, putting this one over here. And then we're done with our outside level. So this wreath is nice and full. It's already measuring about 25 inches across. All right, let's see what we have left in here. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, let's start putting these around. At least one in every spot. As I said before, I'm just making sure I'm not getting any glue on the ribbons. Just gonna pick that up a little bit and slide it right back. And adding different types of greenery is really beneficial to your design because it gives it more of a real feel and a natural look. You know, because even though, you know, the mesh is plastic, but this greenery just helps give like a feel of the outdoors. I think I'm going to put some of these behind the bow here because why not, right? Stick some of these. I'll put one right here, right there. And I'll put one in that other ribbon spot right here. Even though that's not really going to be showing anyways, because our bow is going to be pulled up like this. And I'm going to stick one right in the back side of the middle of the bow. And then we're going to be all done. There we go. We're done. We have 2 more, actually. 2 more. Let me stick them right in the back of the bow. And some people really like this look because it shows the natural burlap. In the burlap tones, it shows a little bit of the inside of the door, you know, and it's just, you know, personal preference. You know, if the customer likes their bow on the bottom or the top. And there we go. We are done. Nice and jingly, nice and full. You guys will have to let me know what you think about it. Let me put a little bit of a closer look. There we go. All right. Thanks so much. See you next time.